had very paranormal experiences. I have definitely seen UFOs. I have them on camera. I've got them over my house like multiple times.
What you would think that Jesus's dating advice would be for us in this modern day life.
Well, I'm not going to be politically correct
No, please
because
don't. Welcome to the Manifestation Queen podcast. Our guest today is the extraordinary creator, Lisa Alexandra, who has nearly 1 million followers on her YouTube channel, and she's quietly shaped an entire corner of the digital world. She's a feminine embodiment mentor, a spiritual teacher, and a visionary behind multiple transformational programs and courses that have helped thousands of women reclaim their softness, their power, and their God-given prosperity. A true manifestation queen. Lisa blends psychology, spirituality, and nervous system wisdom to guide women into a slower, holier, and more sustainable way of living. A life led by grace, not hustle. And her mission is simple but profound: to help women return to the truth of who they are, heal the unseen, and step into the abundance that was always theirs. So welcome the stunning category of one, Lisa Alexandra, to the Manifestation Queen podcast. Hello, beautiful. How are you?
I am great. Thank you for having me. How are you?
Oh, I'm so good. I am so happy that you're here. Thank you for coming and doing this. It means so much, and I'm so honored to have you.
I'm super excited to be here and to talk to you.
Yay. So I told Ben to buckle up. I said, I don't know what we're going to talk about today, but you're going to hear like so many different varieties of things. I told him to buckle up. So I want to introduce you.
Yeah, we're diving deep.
We are. So we'll just jump into the interview now,
Okay.
if that sounds good with you. So
Perfect.
I think that we should start by imprinting our water, our fluids. So I will go ahead and start an imprintation on our water. Let's just do a little, I like to like do a few turns clockwise.
Okay. I'm doing it with you.
Okay, let's do like 9. 8, 9. Okay. And let's just imprint this water with infinite love and fill the space and every molecule in the water so that when we drink it, we get all the nutrients that we need, that we get everything in this conversation that we need, and speak through us clearly, perfect by design, in every moment for everyone watching and for Lisa and for me. Thank you for this moment, and thank you for everything that's going to come through today. And we just want to bless this water and have the most beautiful connection for everyone watching. And thank you. Okay, cheers.
Cheers. That was perfect. I love it.
Thank you. I feel like I'm, I don't know, like these headphones are really groovy.
I love it. You look amazing.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so you've been doing this manifestation law of attraction for almost 10 years now, right? Is that right?
So let me think. When did I first so I discovered the law of attraction in 2006. So that's like 19 years
Wow, 19
that I've
years.
been into it. Yeah.
Okay, so that's a while. So how old were you, if you don't mind me asking when that was?
I was 16.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of similar to my age. Like when I found law of attraction also, I think I was like 15 around that age too. So
That's when The Secret came out, right?
I believe so. Yeah, I think that was like she was like the first to really like break it to the world, and write something like that. So over the journey, like what was that experience that made you realize like this law of attraction stuff is real? Like walk us through that experience and like how that looked for you.
So that's a really good question. I think the very first time that I found it was like obviously through this book, and I had no idea that, the first time you come across this, it's like, wait, I can change my thoughts and I can change my reality. And so I remember, I think the first time that it like quote unquote worked for me was when we wanted to go on a trip. That was like when I was like 20, and we wanted to go on a trip, and everything was sold out. Like everything was fully booked, and I wanted to go at that exact hotel. And I just applied the techniques and I changed my thoughts and I embodied the state of already being there. And all of a sudden, there was a cancellation. And so our room opened up for us and we were able to go. I was like, whoa, this is real. So, yeah, I think when we first get started, it's like with the smaller things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious to know how it was for you as well. Like, what was that first experience where you were like, oh, this is real?
So my experience was interesting. So I think I was around 14 or 15. It was a summer that I went to Orlando to stay with my mom. I'm in South Florida. Or my grandmother, I'm sorry. And I stayed with her for the summer. And I remember she was practicing like a modern day Buddhism, actually. And so she was doing her like daily practice, and she explained it to me as we're basically, chanting to our mirror of like our inner self. So it was like kind of the way she explained it to me was like law of attraction. And so I was like, okay, well, I wanted to get signed with this modeling agency. And so I was like, okay, I'm 14. Like, this is all like my aspirations were. And so I was like, okay, I'm just going to say in my head, I want to get signed with this agency. And so that's what we did for like 2 weeks straight. And then when I got home, my mom took me to the casting call and I got signed with the agency. And I was like, oh my gosh, it worked. And so that was really the first thing that kind of gave me that realization, like, wow, this actually works. And it was like a kind of like a practice thing, because we want to test it and see through our own experience, right? So that's how it looked for me.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so then it was just like a whole thing after that. I just didn't stop, dove into the books and all of the other things. And it was just like a lot of Abraham Hicks was like a huge foundational teacher for me. I love her teachings. Where were you born? Were you born in the French Riviera? Like, is this where you're from?
So I was born and raised in Luxembourg. So it's like a tiny country in Europe, right between Belgium, Germany, and France. And then for my studies, I studied psychology. I went to the south of France. I was like, I want to be in the south at on the Mediterranean Sea. And so that's when I moved here. And I never really went back to my home country. I just kind of stayed here. So that's how I ended up here.
Oh, so beautiful. So you're near Monaco, right?
Yeah, very
Okay.
close.
Oh, wow. It must be so beautiful. I could eat French cuisine every day of my life. I love like a Dover sole. There's this restaurant in Palm Beach that is phenomenal. I am convinced that they don't even do it better in France. They're so good. So if you ever come to Palm Beach, I'll take you there.
I would love to try that. I've heard so many amazing things about Palm Beach. And the funny thing is, in Cannes, so on the French Riviera, like one of the main towns, that's where the film festival is, we actually have a place that's called Palm Beach.
Oh my
And
gosh,
I
how
feel like
funny.
it looks the same as Palm Beach in Florida. It's the same.
That's hysterical. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
they probably named it after Florida, Palm Beach.
Have you ever been to Florida before?
I've been to Miami,
Okay.
yes.
So cool. I even dressed in my Leo Venus today for you. So I have like a leopard dress skirt. Can you see it?
I love it. You look perfect.
Thank you. So do you. So then you dove into The Secret, you got this, eventful turn of things in your favor. And so then what was the journey after that? Like, how did it begin, really?
Gosh, you're taking me back on memory lane. Let me think. So I feel like at first I applying it, like not consistently in my life. It wasn't until like I'd say, yeah, 10 years later. So that tracks when you said like 10 years ago. 10 years later, that's when I really started to get like very serious about it. And I would just go into kind of like my world. I would put on headphones and I would visualize. And all of a sudden, like everything started happening. The things that I did an experiment with myself. I was like, for the next 3 months, I'm going to visualize every single evening for 1 hour. And I was consistent with it. And the things that happened afterwards were just like I moved into my dream home, my YouTube business started exploding. I was traveling all over the world. And so I thought found love. And so many things were happening. And what I always say is that with manifestation, things happen so naturally that for someone who looks in from the outside, it's like, yeah, of course that would have happened. Of course, she just got lucky, or that's just it came about naturally. But actually, we are the cause to the effect. Like we go first, and then reality changes. And so I feel like when you're in your 20s, I don't know if it was the same for you, but when you're in your 20s, you feel so much more limitless. Like, not that we don't now, but when you're a little bit like more new to it, you go in with this like almost like innocent confidence of like anything is possible. And sometimes when we do get older, we get sort of like, experience, like life sometimes happens, right? And so back then it was just, I feel like it was so easy for me to just like tap into these states. It still is now, but I was just like, and everything started to fall into place. So that's kind of like when it really took off.
It was almost like more immediate. You mean like it was like, I totally relate to that. It's like the more we know, the more there is to know. And then, we kind of have to turn that off, I think, with manifestation a little bit, because we can get a little, logical. And I think you also said in our 20s, like it's easier, but it made me think about also even our beauty or like being pretty. I think a lot of people can kind of, like they can kind of just assume that like the prettier you are, the easier things are for you. And I think you posted something about that yesterday, about like beauty being a double-edged sword. So that led me to that, because I think that that can happen a lot, especially when we're, guiding women down these journeys or teaching and, bringing them down this journey. Like they can almost go immediately to think that just because you're pretty, things are easy or easier for you, and it's maybe like a luck or something like that. So I don't know if you want to talk about that a little bit.
I could talk for days on this because it's like people will see your outer results and they'll be like, "Oh, it's easy for you because you're pretty." And I'm not saying that that doesn't have a role to play. Like, yes, we should use our beauty. We should be using what God has given us, right? But that is not the factor. Like, there are many very beautiful girls that struggle and that are broke and that struggle to pay bills, for example, or that don't have the perfect life. So I don't think being pretty, yes, it helps, but I don't think that that's a determining factor. And like I said, yeah, I posted that in stories yesterday. It's definitely a double-edged sword, where I heard this mentor once say she had a client that was like genius level intelligent, like scientist level, genius level intelligent, but she was also a model. And no one took her seriously because of her beauty. Like, she was just not being taken seriously. And I feel like when the thing with being young and beautiful, and when I say beautiful, I mean you just have a beautiful heart, a beautiful spirit. Like beauty is so subjective. When I say beauty, I mean just you're a beautiful person on the inside, right? And so with that person, like sometimes I feel like it's a double-edged sword because on one hand it's easier to maybe get visibility, but then you're not being taken as seriously. If we had, for example, a 60-year-old man with glasses on camera sharing something about neuroplasticity, and I'm like going into the extremes just to like illustrate this. And then we have like a blonde, beautiful 20-year-old, right, saying the same thing. Who's gonna like be taken more seriously, right? So that's the double-edged sword, where I feel like people sometimes underestimate you, or there's like so many projections that come at you. I don't know if like what are you in human design? Because I'm a 5 line and I constantly get projections from other people, and it's okay. Ultimately, it is just like how the world is, but sometimes it can be a little bit challenging, I guess, to like, yes, we may get more visibility, but also people may project so many things and stereotypes onto us. So that's kind of like where I stand with that.
Yeah, I totally can relate. I'm a 4/6 projector in human design.
Okay. So you are like, with work, do you like have these moments where you have energy and then you have moments where like you need to rest a lot?
Absolutely. My rest is like so crucial
Yeah.
for sure. And I even
Love
feel my
that.
energy centers too. Like I'm very sensitive for sure, like the absorbing of the energy. I guess as a projector, like we're not really the energy type, right? What are you? What is your energy type?
I'm a generator, but I feel like a projector because I don't have access. Like I'm not a human design expert, but I had like an expert take a look at my chart once, and she was like, "Oh yeah, like when you have energy, like you can go, 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 but when you don't have energy, like the lights are off. There's no forcing yourself." Like, so yeah, maybe it's like has more to do with like the individual chart, but I never really resonated with being a generator. So I'm a generator, but I do feel more like a projector.
You probably have a lot of openness in your chart or something. Yeah.
Yep. I am like almost, I think I have like only one defined center.
That makes
So yeah.
sense. And I also loved how you said, I watched your podcast with Amanda and it was incredible. I was like, it like resonated with me so much. And I just feel seen when people talk about stuff like this. And it was just so beautiful. That whole conversation was amazing. And I think that was there when you mentioned something about being okay with people viewing you as an alien. So I would love to talk about that a little bit. And, you know, I guess it's like just that being misunderstood or, judged a little bit. And I want to know too if you believe in extraterrestrial beings.
I love all of these questions. Now we're diving deep. So with being okay to be seen as an alien, quote unquote, like I told this to my clients the other day, like be okay with being seen as an alien
Or
because
AI.
yeah, as women, we are so we are taught and conditioned by society to be palatable and to be the nice girl, but really like when you do that, every time you censor yourself to please someone else, you basically like you restrict your energy flow. And we want to be authentic, we want to be aligned with our highest self. And if people don't get your vision, like your dreams and your mission, if people don't understand you, like that is completely fine. Some of us are here to be leaders, some of us are here to be trailblazers, and there is literally no blueprint for us because we are supposed to like be the trailblazers. So it's okay to be misunderstood, especially if our mission is to lead others and to be sort of like at the forefront of, I'd say, evolution and kind of being a little bit ahead of our time, if I can say that. People just won't understand you. I've shared things with friends like 10 years ago that are happening now in the world. And 10 years ago, I was like labeled as crazy, right? And it's just okay. It's not to say that anyone is like further ahead than someone else or anyone is better than anybody else, but some of us are here on a very specific mission, and like we're not supposed to be understood by everyone. And I think when we try to do that, we really we give away our power, and personal power really comes from really honoring. I feel like that is also like the core of what self-love really is. It's accepting yourself fully, not trying to be someone else in order to be accepted or perceived in a certain way. It's like, yes, this is me, this is the fullness of who I am, and being okay with people projecting onto you and not understanding you. Because when you are yourself, the right ones will find you. They cannot find you if you censor yourself. So yeah.
That's so good. And I think too that it's almost like planting the seed when they see you, or, you know, someone that triggers them or even inspires them. I think it's really like a fine line between the two. It's really a gift because they're seeing what's possible. And I think that they'll remember that, you know, like whether it's for that moment or for the future moment, it'll serve them in one way or another eventually, hopefully sooner than later. And like we really are shining our light so that they can see what's possible for them, right? Like the law of exposure, for them to like be exposed to what's possible, you know?
Absolutely. I have had people come onto my page or my channel and be like, you know, the first time I saw you, I was like, no, this is like too much for me. Like, I don't like this girl. Like, and then they come back like 6 months later or 3 months later, and then they're like, I'm all in. Like, join my courses and my mentorship or whatever. And they're like, I'm ready for this. At first, I wasn't because I got triggered, but that just like, it has nothing to do with us. It just exposes in others what they're not allowing themselves to be. And so that's where we come in, and we're like the invitation of like, here, this is what's possible. Come play over here. It's really fun. You don't have to do it the hard way. It gets to be easy. It's okay. Sometimes people get triggered and then they come back, and like you said, maybe with time, like they'll be like, okay, like let's try this, let's do this.
That's so beautiful. It's so true. And, you know, come play over here. It's fun. Like we can all be friends. It's like, I think too, we can get, you know, caught up in like, it's not as easy as it is, or it's, you know, this person's not as nice as they are, or they seem, or, you know, people are always like so skeptical. It's like, no, it's actually so easy. Just enjoy, have fun. And that's all you have to do, you know, for the most part. But, you know, especially with like manifestation, I think it's so effective when you're really in that vortex, and that feeling state is really, I think, crucial. But I know that there is the other side of things. So let's see here. You know, I want to hear about...
Want me to talk about aliens?
Yeah, do you believe in extraterrestrial beings? Like even starseeds and like palladium starseeds and Lyrian or whatever, what are they? Yeah, do you believe in all of that?
I love that question. I would say I'm open to like different theories. I had one phase where I was like really into starseeds and extraterrestrials. And then, as you may know, I love Jesus. I'm a Jesus follower, right? And so in traditional Christianity, like what they're saying is like all extraterrestrials are demons. And so I don't, like It's hard for me to say. I have had very paranormal experiences. I have definitely seen UFOs. I've had them on camera. I've got them over my house like multiple times. So I don't know if this is like too deep to share, but I have
No.
definitely had these experiences, right? But then I'm also like, how can we 100% know what these things really are? And one thing I know is that we're definitely not the only ones, right? But I think sometimes things get really mixed between like interdimensional beings and actual people that look like us that are from other systems, right? That maybe the government up until now has not want us to know about it because we're in this for whatever reason that they're hiding this from us, right? And yeah, I feel like disclosure is definitely happening. We're definitely going there, but there's no like, I feel like there's no one size fits all answer to this. So I'm definitely open to like the different theories. I think some things can definitely be darker, but I don't believe that like all of it is completely dark. I believe that there are advanced civilizations that are years and years and years ahead of us, and that is being hidden from us. That's what I believe, wherever they come from, because there's also like the topic of UFOs coming out of the ocean. Like that's a whole different topic. Where I'm like, are there things actually beneath the ocean, like in underground systems, or they're being seen coming out of like mountains? And so I'm like, to me, I'm like, the inner earth realm, like are they inside the earth? Are they coming from the skies? Like, that's like where I like to dive deep into. And yeah, what are your thoughts?
Did you see? I think that Elon just released like a statement that something about, let's see, the 31 Atlas is an alien craft from a dead galaxy. Did you see that? He just released this. I think it was like yesterday. I guess he tweeted about it.
I did not.
Yeah, my
I
friend's
did
always
not see
sending me
that.
this stuff, and I'm like, what? Um, I mean,
I love how unhinged he is.
I do too. I absolutely love him, and I mean, I would definitely like take his, space advice, I guess, or what he has to say about space. Like, I think it would be interesting to hear. You know what I mean? I would definitely listen to what he has to say about it.
Absolutely.
So, okay, so now let's see. So you said, I think that you're about a year long, like being a devoted Christian, right? Is that what I heard in the podcast with Amanda?
Um, so I became a Christian 6 years ago.
Okay.
And yeah, so 6 years being a Christian, but also I feel like because I never had like this Christian indoctrination of like religion, I'm also very much like I love Jesus so much, but I also don't adhere to a lot of the things that like religion does.
The
So, and I
dogma.
feel, and some people are like, oh, manifestation is not from God. And I feel like it's literally all over the Bible. Like, have you read it? Like, it literally says it there, that we are to decree and declare things over our lives and that we have authority over this physical realm. And so I think a lot of people are very like passive, right? Like, I'm a believer, I'm a Christian, and I believe in God, and that's it, like they're not actually like taking authority. And to me, that is what manifestation is. It's like taking authority and declaring things over our lives with like the thoughts that we think and the words that we speak over our lives.
Yeah, through the power of the tongue, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's so beautiful. I pray to Jesus too. I I just every day, like that's just embedded in me, like praying to Jesus. And I've studied a ton of different practices and religions, and like a lot of Egyptian radiesthesia and French radiesthesia, so like dowsing and pendulum works, but very like physical stuff. It's very like scientific and like tangible things that we're measuring and testing. And then also I do a lot of energy work and stuff too. But out of all the techniques and everything that I've learned, like the most potent and, immediately effective clearing is anytime I pray to the blood of Jesus and declare like clearing over my home, over my family. So that is like the most powerful, I think, clearing, prayer. And I just think that Jesus is, king for sure. So I totally love that. And I love talking about that stuff. What else? I mean, let's see. Oh, I sent you the Jesus and the Essenes book. Yeah. I would love to hear what you have to say about that book. It is incredible. I think I binge read it. I would love to hear your feedback when you read that. So,
yeah. So I actually I downloaded the audiobook yesterday, so I can't wait to dive into that. What I am going to say about that is Mary Magdalene, is she considered like one of his Essenes? Because I know she walked with him, and there's actually here in south of France, like an hour and a half drive away. I don't know if you know this, but after Jesus died, and obviously but after he was like gone from this earth plane, Christians were being persecuted, right? And so Mary Magdalene and Lazarus, they fled from Jerusalem, the south of France, in a boat. And so there's a place here that's called Sainte Marie de la Mer, which literally means Saint Mary of the Sea. And she arrived here and she preached the gospel, and then for the last years of her life, spent time in like a cave. And I'm actually going to visit that cave. Like it's a people come from all over the world to go visit this place. It's like a spiritual hotspot, because she actually passed away there. And once I drove past that, it's like a mountain. I drove past it, and I could actually, being sensitive, I could really feel the energy coming off of that mountain. So I can't wait to go there, because I don't know if you've ever done like visited like spiritual places, but I feel like you would definitely, because you're like sensitive you sense these things as well. I feel like you would feel that too. Have you ever like visited a place like that?
So they're like power spots, right? They're like energetic power spots. No, so I haven't traveled much, to be honest. There is a place in Homestead, it's called the Coral Castle. But as far as like an ancient, like Mary Magdalene and like people like, really like saints and stuff like that. No, I've actually never visited anywhere like that. I would really love to. I feel like it would just be a beautiful space. I feel like there are some spaces that we can like, just feel more balanced in and stuff. And then I think we can always like tap into those places too, like intentionally. But I mean, I'm sure it's like, there's nothing like being there, right?
Yeah, it's wonderful. I know of a friend who went there, and she's not spiritually attuned whatsoever, but she went there and she was like, I felt the energy and I started crying. Like she just felt it. So yeah, these places, especially if we're like called, like if our soul like calls us to a certain place, it's because they're like meant to go there and receive something from there, because places hold memory as well.
That's so beautiful. When are you going?
I was supposed to, when was it? Last month. But something came between. So I don't have a set date, but it's probably like in the next few weeks that I'll be going, with my family. So yeah, I'll definitely update you if I go. Like you'll see it. I'll post about it.
Wow, that's so beautiful. I love hearing about Mary, because I feel like, just like we were talking about, like they tried to portray her as this prostitute and like all of these like, misunderstandings about her to belittle her and to reduce her. And I think that that's when you really have to take an extra look and really like dive deep into those, into those people, because I think that that's where like, there's actual power in and those people that they're trying to reduce, you know?
100%. It's like let's look at this a little bit closer and like what he portrayed that way, because she was the one who was she was the first one that Jesus saw after being crucified. Like she was there at his grave. So she was very close to him.
Do you watch The Chosen?
No.
No.
I've never I know my mom recommended it to me. Is it good? Have you watched it?
So I watched a little bit of it. I kind of just like randomly, my TV was already on like a random episode. So I like just was like, okay, let's see what this is about. And like, let's see what I need to know right now with this random episode. And it was really amazing. I think they do a pretty good job at portraying the characters. And there was Philip, he was one of the apostles. And I really like drew a huge liking to him on the show. And then I started to Google him because I wanted to know more about him, like in the Bible. And I found out that he was removed from the show. And I was like, wait, what? Like, what happened? And they kind of, I don't know if it was censorship or what happened exactly, but they all kept it pretty hush hush. Like no one really knows. But I really like the show. I think it's a pretty good interpretation. Like it doesn't seem very dogmatic at all. And I love the way that they do it.
Okay. You're making me want to watch it.
Yeah, it's I think it's beautiful. I think the scripture, I think everything is so beautiful about scripture, and I think that there's so much more beauty to it than we realize. Like I think Ephesians 3:20 is my favorite, and I think that it's exceedingly abundantly, more than we can even comprehend beyond our imaginations.
Amen. I love that. I feel like when I read these things, I feel like a lot of this pertains to our life now, but even more so, I feel like there's something waiting, like once we are no longer on this earthly realm, I feel like there's something so big waiting for us on the other side. And I feel like it talks about both, like, yes, this life, but also like, because that's to me at least, that's like the real life. Like here is just like a blip. If you think about it, our life is just like literally a blip in terms of like eternity, and our soul is eternal. And so I just have this knowing that so much good is stored up for us and once we pass away. Like I have people always like find it so funny that I have like absolutely no fear of like, I don't know if I can say this on here, the word, unaliving. Like I have absolutely no fear of that whatsoever.
Wow, that's so beautiful.
Yeah, I feel like there's like so much good waiting for us on the other side.
Wow. And was that always something for you, or is that something new that you're feeling like now, like more recently?
It's definitely the peace that has come with like praying to God and praying to Jesus. It's just this inner knowing. It's definitely not always been that way. And yeah, just the peace that you get from walking with him and knowing that like he's got you, he has you covered under his wing no matter what. And also when the Bible says like don't store up on earth, but store them up in heaven, right? This is not to say that we can't live in abundance. We get to have a beautiful life, but also like I always think of like my actions, like how will my actions how will that affect the afterlife? I don't know if anybody else thinks that way, but I'm always like, how will that affect like long term? Like some people may call it karma. Good that you do. I do really feel that a lot of things that maybe people don't see, like things that you do, let's say like you're helping a homeless person and you're not really sharing it with anybody, but God sees it, right? Or things where you could have thrown somebody on the bus and you didn't do that. Like God sees that, he sees everything that's going on in private. So according to that, according to your heart, that's also how like what is stored up for you later is what I believe truly.
Wow. Yeah, I think so too. I think that we really do, like, it's that intimacy of our relationship with him, you know? It's like something so deep and so intimate. And I think that, like, you know, we can go through certain things to really strengthen that intimacy. Like, intimacy isn't always like this beautiful, fun, you know, over, heels over, what am I trying to say? Head over heels love, right? Like, it's like this deep intimacy where we like meet ourselves within, like, so deep at our core, where we meet him and where we get to like grow that intimate relationship with him. And that's like so beautiful to me.
Yeah, I love how you said that because it's like intimacy doesn't mean that everything is always perfect. It just means that we can like come fully the way we are, and like there's nothing hidden with him. Like you just fully rely on him and you can tell him anything, and that's it's just so beautiful about intimacy. And I feel like no human relationship could ever like amount to that as well.
Yeah, and it can be fearful. Like, a lot of people, like, I mean, I know that it's not an easy thing to meet, you know, to really like meet that deep intimacy. Like, it's something that, you know, oftentimes like we might want to avoid it because it is something that's super, super profound and deep. So it can come with, you know, a little bit of, you know, nervousness, or a lot of things can come up in that process, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's also what people have been taught about God, you know? Like a lot of people approach God with fear and just like guilt and shame, like the things that kind of like religion has perpetuated. But if you like, if anybody knows Jesus and like who he was, he just that is not his heart. Like he is just, you know, there is no condemnation for those who are in Christ. And he's just so loving, and he stands up for injustice. And so yeah, it's just depends also on like people's conditioning and what they've been told by people, like not by God but by people who pretend to talk in the name of God, but really it's just them like sharing things with them that may not be always in their best interest, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like I feel like maybe a lot of like things got lost in translation, I think, and have, you know, became a little dogmatic, I would say. I think that's the best word for it. But well, let's see, what do you think, like, saying all of this, how do you think that this relationship with God plays into manifestation? And what have been like your newest, like, I guess with walking with Jesus, like what has changed for you in manifestation, or what do you think like works best, and what do what do you feel the most strongly about, like, when it comes to manifestation?
I love that. So a word that a scripture that comes to mind is be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And to me, that's literally, yes, God working in us, but to me, that's literally neuroplasticity, right? It's literally the renewing of our mind, creating new neural networks. I feel like God helps us to remove all of the distortions that we are not in terms of like our identity. I always say manifestation is not like, but it's unbecoming everything that you are not. And so really like leaning into and allowing yourself and giving into your desires and allowing yourself to be fully you and knowing that anything is possible. And so I feel like he bold in faith and to really like be courageous, and our identity in Christ, like that's for me, that's what has changed a lot, is knowing who I am in Christ, my identity in him. And then also before I used to lean a lot on my own strength, and I got burnt out a lot because I would do everything, the way I was raised. I was raised by a single mom who was working really hard to like make ends meet, right? And so I was raised in a very like masculine, quote unquote, energy where it's like constantly push, 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 and you have to do everything on your own, and you rely only on yourself and nobody else. And so I had to really learn to do things like it through his strength, and not leaning on my own understanding and not leaning on my own strength. And that's still something that I'm learning, but it's so beautiful because it's like you can relax, you can lean back, and yes, we do the inner work, and yes, we set the intentions and all of those beautiful like techniques like visualizing or writing it down. But then ultimately it's about who we see ourselves to be and really embodying our desires, like becoming that now. And when you read the Bible and you see what he says about you, it will really empower you. So that's how I bring him in, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and you can really just rest in that, right? And like that's like that relaxed knowing, or that like inner knowing that you're talking about, that you feel like, so much peace in, because you can rest in that when you know that like his power is always at play in your favor.
Absolutely. It's the rest that he gives you, the peace that he gives you. And I love that because so much like we're taught to like constantly like do, hustle culture, go after your goals. I saw this one girl, she posted on social media that she was walking, 10K steps every single day, but then also doing like workouts, 1 hour workouts, weightlifting 5 days a week. I'm like, how do you like, good for you, but how is that even possible? Like, I could not even imagine like being that active. First of all, how do you find the time? And second, like, I would be like so tired. And so it's like, I feel like with social media, there's a standard that is being set, especially on women, to like constantly go, go, go and constantly be perfect. And that's really not realistic, to be honest. Is like what I feel.
Yeah. And I totally feel that way too. It's like this like girl boss and like overachieving and kind of like proving, like a proving energy. I totally get that.
Yeah.
And I want to talk a little bit about, scalar and right frequency. How has that impacted your life, and are you still using it? Like how has it impacted your life?
I love that. So, yeah, where do I even start? So the scalar is it's like how do you even explain quantum technology? Also, the way that it found me was I feel like I really manifested this because I was struggling with an autoimmune disease, and it's funny because that was actually like the time where I was in a relationship that didn't really allow me to be my full, like, authentic self. And I was repressing a lot of who I really am. I was like dimming down in order to like offend others or not be too much. And I got sick. And so I had this autoimmune disease, and I was given, the doctors were like, don't even bother trying to get pregnant, it's not going to happen for you. And then they were like, you have to take meds for the rest of your life. And so I started taking the meds. I am allergic to literally all of them. I tried all of them, all of the different brands. Like, we tried so many different things, rashes all over my body. Like, I was scratching myself so much that I had bruises on my legs. And so I was losing my hair. And so I was like, I cannot do this the conventional way. And I knew deep down that I was supposed to heal naturally. I knew that God has given me the power to like, he heals, and we can also like through him like setting that intention that we are already healed. So I set that intention, and then I came across all these alternative like healing technologies. And so the scalar I really love because I have one in my bedroom and I have another one in my living room. They both kind of do different things. I noticed that when I started sleeping in the scalar field, I didn't need naps anymore. Like, my day was so stable. I have more energy. And then the one in my living room, the best way that I can describe it is like the energy that you get when you walk into a church or walk into like a holy, it feels very clean. Like it feels just clean, like crisp and clean energetically. That's what it does. And I had some where I wasn't using it, like it was off, and I definitely felt a difference. Like the air just feels a bit more heavy versus when you have it on, it feels like super, super, super light. And so, like, we can go really deep into this, but I'm gonna like not like I won't go into the depths of this, otherwise I'll like sit here talking for hours. But and then the Rife frequency. So basically, Rife, why is it called Rife frequencies? So Dr. Rife was the one who discovered these frequencies, and he discovered that patients, I think this was like in the 20th century, patients who had cancer, he found that if you expose these cancer cells to a certain frequency, that harmful cell would die without causing any harm to the healthy cells around them. And so he did these trials, and a lot of people, I don't know like what the number was exactly, but like I'd say 80%, 85% in a few weeks were healed.
Wow.
And so you can imagine that there's like a lot of suppression of this technology. And that's the one that I got when I was healing my autoimmune condition. And I did so many detox programs through the Rife machine. You can like get rid of heavy metals. You can like, it eliminates all the toxins from your body. I went through a 3-month like full on detox program, and I have no more symptoms whatsoever from that autoimmune disease. And I 100% believe in this. It's extremely powerful. I feel like it's been suppressed a lot. But you know, people who have had illnesses and have healed themselves or have been, I don't know if I could say this here, but like have been cured, you know, they know that it works, right? And so I can't make this claim for everyone, but I just know for myself, it's been such a blessing. And it's also the proof that you don't need to rely on conventional medicine. Like, yes, conventional medicine is great when it comes to, you know, accidents, things and injuries. Like, obviously it saves our life. But when it comes to chronic things, I feel like alternative is definitely the way to go. And just right frequencies, if anybody listening like is dealing with something chronic, just look it up. It's amazing.
Wow. Yeah, I've worked with the Rasha. Have you heard of the Rasha?
No.
I think I don't know if it's either scalar or Rife. I'm not sure, but I know it's like this. It's definitely one of them because they're both different, right? There's a difference between scalar and Rife, or is it the same?
Yeah. No, there's like a field, and then Rife frequencies, they're like frequencies, right? So it depends how you apply them. With the one that I have, you have like contact mode. So you put like these electrodes on your body. You don't feel a thing. It's just more powerful, but you also can do it remote. So which was like the method that you used? Was
With
it like
Rasha?
a field?
Yeah, it was a field. It's like a dome, and the small one is a dome. They actually build a huge dome that you go sit in. They're out of Vegas. The guy, he works with a lot of like UFC fighters and stuff, but it's a pretty big dome, the one that I worked with, and you put like headphones on, and it just like emits the frequency. It has copper, it has like some quartz or something in there. It looks really cool. You have to check it out. They're pretty amazing. They're just extremely, extremely expensive. So it's like not very accessible to a lot of people. You know, like I like the spooky because I feel like it's more accessible. And then I think it's kind of portable, isn't it? The spooky scalar system.
With the spooky, yes, so they released a new one that is actually portable, and I think that one is scalar. That
Okay.
one I have as well, and I use it every single night. They have like a program for good sleep, and I use it every single night, and I sleep so well.
Mm.
Sometimes I would put it on like liver cleansing, and then I would forget because it like loops, right?
Hmm.
So I would put it on liver cleansing and I would forget that it's on, and it would like run for like 12 hours, and the next day I would like really feel the detox. So I'm like, this is definitely working. So yeah.
Wow.
It's like you're always a bit skeptical, right? Because you're like, I don't really understand how this works, but like, Wi-Fi works, Bluetooth works, right? In the same way, except they're not good for us, they're harmful. And so these are like good frequencies for us. And I always say, if you're skeptical, just try the detox ones, because those you will 100% feel.
Yeah, those are the ones where the unseen will really start. You'll see the become the scene, right? Through the detox, like you'll start to see some stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I first started detoxing, like, oh my gosh, I even like the heavy metals, like you can really feel like you've partied all night the next day.
Wow. That's amazing. I love that. And what other biohacking stuff would you say that you really enjoy using or that have been effective to you or impacted you? Are there any other ones?
Let me think. So I would say the sun, honestly, like and I'm not saying like basking and baking in the like hot scorching sun. I mean like getting sunlight into your eyes, like get yourself a pair of these ones for like blue light glasses. I also have on my phone, I like have this, I just turned it
The
on,
red
like
setting.
this filter. Yeah.
Rick
And
Rubin
you
showed me
just
how to
like
do that
turn
on
it
his
off again.
podcast.
I love that. Yeah.
Do you listen to
So
him?
it's just so beneficial. No,
No.
but I feel like I'll add him to my list. Like I'm definitely gonna listen to your episode with him. Yeah, like sunlight, like detoxing, whether that's heavy metals, toxins from your body. What else do I do? For the past few years, I've done like a lot of just like cleansing, making sure my hormones are optimized. Iodine, like I don't know if you've went down the iodine rabbit hole. It's very beneficial for women, and I take like a humongous dose of iodine compared to what they tell you to take, but it will give you so much energy. And there's a doctor, his name is David Brownstein, and so with like iodine. So that's a rabbit hole to go down. I would say red LED light, like anything that helps with like your mitochondrial health and ATP. But other than that, I would just say like have a healthy routine, like get your body moving, whatever feels good for you, like do like get your body moving. I also have like a vibration plate. I love those because it like gets the lymph moving. But yeah, I feel like just being consistent and being healthy, and honestly, boundaries in your life and like in your relationships is going to give you a huge glow up, because you can do all the biohacking tools. If you're with the wrong people or in the wrong relationship, like that will drain the life force out of you. So just being in environments that are loving, and people that like support you and love you and lift you up. I feel like this goes without saying, but like boundaries are just like so important.
Oh my gosh, you're reminding me of the most important question, which I think is going to be the last question. I wanted to hear what you would think that Jesus's dating advice would be for us in this modern day life. Like if he was, he is our father, right? So like what kind of fatherly or advice would you think he would give us as dating in this day and age?
Oh my gosh, I love this question so
And that's the
much.
last one,
And
Ben. Okay.
that's the best one.
Yeah.
I would say, Well, I'm not going to be politically correct
No, please
because like
don't
I
be.
approach dating in a biblical way, and I'm very traditional, and I like if I date, because I'm not dating, right? I'm celibate. If I do date, if I get to like know somebody, I would do it first platonically, because I feel like if we don't and we start to get close to someone, it like as women we develop these hormones and oxytocin, and we get attached, and then sometimes we can be blinded by things that like red flags, right?
Hmm.
So what I would say is like approach it in terms of like courting. Like I would do courting, and dating, courting with the intention of like getting married, but also like asking the right questions from the start. Like don't be afraid to ask those questions, because like the right person, the right man for you or woman for you, if you're looking for a wife, will they won't get offended by those questions. Like they'll be like, oh, like this person's actually serious. And so yeah, just like traditional values. And I would say just asking him for confirmation as well, like going to him for clarity. Like, God, show me a sign that like this is for me. And if this person's not for me, then take them out of my life. That one, that's the last thing I'm going to say, is something I pray so often. And it's one of the most powerful and radical things you can do. It's like, God, if there's anybody in my life that is not aligned, please take them out of my life. He moves so fast on this. So I would say, like, yeah, asking him for confirmation as well.
Oh, I love that. And then just thanking him, because I think that's like one of the most amazing gifts. I'm like, the sooner he can do that for us, the better. It's like, show me, show me, show me. I love this.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, this was so wonderful. Lisa, I am so grateful and appreciative of your time and your wisdom and your beauty. You are incredible and immensely powerful. Every woman that gets to work with you is beyond lucky to even encounter you and just learn anything from you. So thank you for all the work that you do and all the impact that you're making in this world.
That was so beautiful and really touched my heart. This hour went by like in a second. So I was just so happy to be here and love this conversation. Uh, and thankful to be here and have talked to you.
Oh, thank you so much. I hope that we can do it again soon. I would love, love, love that. And I will be in
Absolutely.
touch for sure. And we, yeah, I feel like we could talk forever and ever and ever. But until next
We'll be
time,
back. Yeah.
yes,
To
yeah,
be continued.
to be continued. So thank you again. And I cannot wait to connect more with you and just continue this conversation.